big gathering of experts and the United Nations ambassadors talking about the new multilateral system in the world and what's going to be the role of the United Nations in the future in the new system. What struck me was that so many of the arguments and so much of the discussion was about things that we talked about 20 and 30 years ago. For example, the role of international peacekeeping. A lot of the same issues of limitations on sovereignty. How do we deal with increased demands for UN peacekeeping? How does the need for peacekeeping hinder nation building, getting at the sources of the conflict, freezing conflicts versus... And as I sat there and listened to the discussions, they were profoundly expressed, but I realized, wow, we're just going in a very big circle here. It's a very big circle. We're coming right back to where we were, and we're not moving. At the same time, there are a whole set of new dynamics in the international system that are going to generally kind of blow us all apart in terms of having to find a better way to deal with these things. Let me give you an example. Proliferation. Everything is about nuclear proliferation. We're all obsessed with nuclear proliferation, as we should be. But right now, with the combination of developments in nanotechnology and chemical and biological weapons, I would predict that in 10 years, the issues we're going to be obsessed with, because we're going to have to deal with a post-9/11 situation, is going to be chemical or biological weapons, being able to have a destructive capacity far beyond anything we could imagine today. That's the advantage of bringing nanotechnology together, the disadvantage of bringing nanotechnology together with these weapon systems. That kind of thing is not even on the horizon. It's not even there, not being discussed. Or flip over to cybersecurity, the whole issue of cybersecurity and the whole economic underpinning of the global economy. These again, issues absolutely not being dealt with, the whole issues of cyber conflict, and how do you begin to prepare a series of agreements by basic nation states about rules of conflict, and what do you do about all the non-state actors that have enormous capacities, including with botnets, tens of millions of computers hooked together, PCs of innocent people hooked together, which now forms a supercomputer. And that supercomputer can give huge ability to blow up an offshore oil rig, or to blow out an electric power grid system, or all kinds of a dam or a nuclear power plant. This is you're not talking now about nation states or about huge weapon systems. We're talking about something you can do on your PC. These kinds of issues, space, all types of issues of new offensive and the offensive defensive weapon issue. What is one person's ballistic missile defense obviates the strategic deterrence of nuclear weapons for another country, which now means it's insecure. What do we do with all these kinds of things? It just seems to me that the international community really needs to sort of get with it at another level. That the kind of discussions we've had for 20 or 30 years about what needs to be fixed, as important as they are, need to really be raised to an entirely different level. And it's something I think is a challenge for all of us that we are going to have to agree to step forward and face.